Last year, Inter won Serie A by a huge 19 points, so they'd surely be favourites to win it again. But what does FC24 think about the coming season? Frosinone, Sassuolo and Salernitana were relegated, so I replaced them with newly promoted Como, Parma and Venezia. I picked Genoa as my team as I didn't want to affect the title race too much, and I simmed the entire season. Serie A is one of my favourite leagues, but in terms of licensing, it's a bit of a mess. Atalanta, Roma, Lazio and Napoli are unlicensed, so have generic kits and crests, but thankfully their squads are still the real-life players. 7 games into the season and there's 3 teams with a 100% record. Milan, Juventus and Napoli are all tied on 21 points. This could be really close. Fast forward a month, Juventus and Milan are still unbeaten, but Juve have drawn 1 and Milan have drawn 2 games. Inter are behind them in second place, but 2 points separate the top 3. After simming the rest of November, it's Milan still unbeaten at the top with 35 points, with both Inter and Juve just a point behind them on 34. Napoli have started to fall away on 28 points. And look how close it is going into the new year. Milan, Inter and Juve are all tied on 47 points. Napoli are still in 4th, but they're 9 points off the top 3, with Roma a further 4 points behind them. Fiorentina occupy the last European place. Down at the bottom, 2 of the newly promoted sides are struggling. Parma and Como make up the bottom 2. Venezia seem to have adapted well to life back in Serie A as they sit in 14th. Reaching towards the end of January, and this is why I love Serie A so much, it's so competitive. 22 games played, Inter and Juve are tied on points, and they've both scored the same number of goals, with Milan 2 points behind them. What a season. Fast forward another month and it's even closer. We've got Juventus and Milan with almost identical records. They're both on 65 points and Inter just a single point behind them. Napoli still occupying 4th place and they're 6 points clear of Roma, so they're likely to stay there. Going into April, Juventus have opened up a little bit of a lead. They're 2 points clear now. They've still only lost 1 game all season, but there's still only 3 points separating the top 3 teams. Roma have gained some ground on Napoli. They're in 5th and 4th, while Fiorentina are way behind them in 6th. At the end of April, Milan look to have fallen away. There's 4 games left and they're 9 points behind Juventus, but Inter are still within 2 points of them. It is looking like Juve are going to pull away and win the league though. As it was so close, I started to sim the games one at a time. 1 game for Genoa meant Inter had played twice though, so Inter had briefly overtaken Juve. They're on 89 points after 36 games. Juventus have a game in hand and they're a point behind. And what a finish that was from Juve. They've won the title with 1 game to spare. They sit at 94 points and only 1 defeat in the entire season. But Inter kept up with them really well. They've got 89 points. So the final table, Juve finished top with 97 points, while Inter Milan have to make do with 2nd place on 90. Milan just behind them on 88 points, while Napoli almost pulled it back. They finished 4th on 83 points. Then it's Roma on 80, and Lazio, or Latinum, sneak into the last European place, a further 17 points behind Roma. Down at the bottom, it's good to see that 2 of the 3 promoted sides stayed up. Venezia and Parma were quite comfortable at the end, with Como going down. They finished bottom on 27 points, and it's Cagliari and Lecce that join them in Serie B for next season. Interestingly, Bologna, who will play Champions League football this season, only just survived. Maybe the distraction of Champions League football was too much for them, but let's hope that doesn't happen in real life. So that's what FC24 predicts for next year's Serie A season. What do you think, though? I love Serie A. It's one of my favourite leagues. Gianluigi Buffon is one of my favourite players of all time. And with my wife's family being Italian, I have a strong attachment to Italy in general. I'm hoping to attend a Serie A game this season, so I'll document that on this channel. Sadly, Salernitana got relegated. When we visit Italy, they're the local side, so it'll likely be a Napoli game I attend. I'd love to go to the Olimpico or the San Siro though, so who knows. I've got one more of Europe's top 5 leagues to simulate on FC24, and that's La Liga, so I'll be posting that tomorrow morning. If you're enjoying my content so far, please consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this.